This video, we're going to show you the shadow side of being a starseed. These are things that most people don't even think of. In the process of the starseed awakening, we're going to show you exactly how to integrate that shadow. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. This is Victor Oddo. What do you do?
I help people navigate their awakening.
The spiritual awakening process, right?
Yeah, I forgot. That's actually correct, yes.
Anyways, today what we're going to do is we're going to be explaining to you some of the shadow sides of being a starseed. These are things that I know in my own journey, they are things that I didn't really see coming. Because sometimes when we're going through the starseed awakening, we're becoming more aware of who we are as like this connected to the, connected galactically and connected to like different parts of the star systems. But there's different parts of it that we find end up having a backlash if we're not aware of it. And if you know beforehand how to work through this process, how to go through this process of the starseed awakening, you're able to see this shadow so it doesn't suck you in to the identity of it or suck you into the negative characteristics of it. So what I'd do is maybe we'll share some of the very first things we noticed when being on the starseed awakening journey, like the things that we noticed in other people, but also in our own life. And I'd say the one that we both have been through before. First off, this is Victor Oddo. I know I always assume, but yeah, if you guys don't know who Victor Oddo is my best friend. He's also a YouTuber. I'm gonna link his channel below. He creates content similar to mine on law of attraction, spiritual awakening, ascension, raising your vibration. You'll find a whole bunch of great content over there. So I'll link his channel below. But we both I remember we were at Rhythmia, and we were at this place in Costa Rica, and we were in this like plant medicine ceremony thing, and we had this experience where we realized that our awakening journey was almost the same in 2012, but this was like last year, 2 years ago. We had this realization after we were already friends for like a year. We have this night where we were realizing that we had almost the same type of awakening in 2012. And it was like a sense of understanding you're a starseed, you have this connection to the stars. And then this sense of feeling alone after you go through this like spiritual awakening process. And we both went through probably like 6 months to a year of just kind of being alone, like people didn't really understand it. Friends, family thought it was kind of crazy. Is that something you went through as well, like similar?
Yeah. It's interesting because like the whole starseed awareness, when you become aware that you have a connection to so much more that you ever knew, you would think on a big level that would be comforting. That would be like, wow, I'm less alone than ever before now that I'm becoming aware of this connection. At the same time, because not all human beings are aware of their starseed connection, it ends up being you being like the weirdo who's talking about the stars all the time, and you can feel very isolated because you can just get a strong sense that if you were to just voice your thoughts on life and some of your findings and some of the things you're going through, especially in regard to the starseed stuff, you're not going to be well received by your friends, by your family, by your coworkers, by your neighbors. So in that light, you feel very alone because you know that I can't really be who I now know myself to be around people. I can't be my authentic self. And when we have to put on a mask, even a bigger one around other people, it can make us feel very alone. And initially.
Yeah. I know, I remember when I went through my like awakening and I started understanding like the starseed connection to like the Pleiades and all these other connections that I was making. I remember I went through it and I was like, I sat down with my dad and I was like, listen, like there's this like we're spiritual beings. This is all an illusion. And it was like for some reason I just thought that was gonna be like normal. Like I thought everyone was gonna get it. They're like, wow, Aaron, you're right. You got this really
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah.
Thank you. You're so grateful for you telling me this stuff. But and then that I was like, a lot of friends and family were like, Aaron, what the hell did you do? Like, did you do something? Like, is there some So
that was real quick. That was one of the main commonalities that we got a real chuckle about both our awakening. We both came into this information like a lot of you, and then we thought it was our mission to tell our family, our parents, our like old school minded parents. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I was a personal trainer, and I would train my mom and her friend, and my mom's friend didn't show up that day. I thought that was a great opportunity to tell her that the government is really driven and influenced by higher dimensional beings with a negative agenda. And I said all that stuff, and she was like, wow. Oh, okay. I could tell she was thinking.
I know exactly.
She wasn't thinking like, "Wow, I'm so glad I'm made aware of this." It's like, "Oh my goodness, what the hell is my son on? What kind of drugs?"
Yeah, that's exactly what my dad. I just remember I was like, I was like, the moon. Like, there's bases on the moon. And all
yes. Oh, the moon? You think you're looking at the moon, huh?
Yeah. I was like, the moon is like, it doesn't rotate. You know why it doesn't rotate? And then I remember I told this to like my grandma and dad, and they're like, the same thing. They're like, okay. I just know they're in their head. They're like, what? I don't even know how to respond to this. What's going on here? And then for like months, it was like just trying to be normal and trying to kind of make up for that, and then worried that something was wrong.
Yeah.
But like when you get so excited about the Starseed Awakening, you just want to tell everyone. Like, you just want to, like, listen, we're interdimensional beings, and we're just here having this temporary human experience, and all of this stuff, the Star Family, and for a lot of people, it's the backlash is sometimes we don't realize where people are. A lot of people are still stuck in watching the news and the media, and they're buying into certain realities. So when we come out with this type of information, there's a backlash of that. And then what we do is we think there's something wrong with us. And what we do is we may go and it's like, okay, I'm just not going to talk about it for a while, and then that's what the negative side of this is, the ego that can develop. Because I remember going around and being like, started becoming a little bit bitter with people, because I'm like, people just don't get it. They're just asleep. It's like that was the idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started to have like this self-fulfilling belief that was holding me back from connecting to other people that were into this information, because my belief was, people just don't get it. People don't get me. People are asleep. And guess what? That was a self-fulfilling prophecy. But the more I realized I dropped that label, it's like people are all around that are into that. Like the guy that we were at the gym the other day, and I just turned over to this guy when we were chatting at the gym. I was like, so what do you think about aliens?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, I think they exist. Like aliens are been around for a long time. I just like to see how people respond sometimes. But yeah, it's more and more people are open to this information now. So it's like when you have less of a this rule that people just aren't awake and all of this stuff, you attract less of that, or
Yeah, like what, real quick, what you said like, for a time, once this happens, you start to question like maybe something's wrong with you. Yeah. I didn't think that. I thought, I'm onto something, and there's actually something wrong with everybody else.
That's kind of what I thought too, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, you're right.
And you create this separation by focusing on the differences, which there are some differences. This person has no idea he's got ET connections, or maybe he's not a Starseed at all. And me, I'm doing my astral travels at night. I'm experiencing all these cool worlds or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing that is different. There's many similarities. We're human. We have flesh. There's a lot of common ground that when you focus on that, then we kind of isolate ourselves.
Right.
That's the message I got.
Yeah.
And by the lack of awareness of the shadow side.
Yeah, absolutely. And acknowledging the differences more than the similarities.
Yes.
And being attached to that ego perspective. So yeah, we both learned through that process. We both went after that, learn how to more so integrate that aspect of understanding everyone's on their own journey. A lot of people that think this Starseed stuff, there's people that watch my channel that are like, when you first started coming out with Starseed videos, I thought it was crazy. I stopped watching your videos, and now they come back and they're like, it planted a seed, and they come back and like, oh, it's so cool. Like, I had no idea. I'm so much more open to it now. So understand that people come in their own timing, Yeah. That's a big bird.
It is.
Whoa. It's like looking at us. Okay, anyways. Okay, so we talked about the biggest shadow is probably just the loneliness that we may feel, or the identification with being different, or the identification with thinking that people just aren't awake. And integrating that, understanding everyone's on their own journey, have an understanding of where people are when you're explaining this to them. It'll help, because then it softens up this, like, maybe instead of saying, I remember hearing Corey Good talk about it once. He's like, just say something like, you just plant little seeds, like when someone's watching something, you'd be like, did you know that, there may be, what do you think that there may be, like, I don't know, bases on the moon or something like that, versus going like, you know, we have connections to the Pleiades or the Sirius or all this stuff.
Are you familiar with the blue avians?
Yeah. They're like these blue bird beans, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? But if you start with something small, then it makes it easier. But yeah, so that I'd say is the biggest shadow. And then what I thought, you were talking to me yesterday about the climatization. I thought we'd go into that now a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the star seeds are here at this time to help with this big shift that's going on. And a lot of them are not normally used to incarnating into such a, we live in a very dense sort of 3D existence, and a lot of the star seeds are used to being in the much higher realms, so it's a bit of a challenge for them to integrate physically. I know for myself, I've always had kind of like health problems. I've always struggled with fatigue, and I get sick kind of easily, and I also feel like my body's very sensitive to stress. Just as an example, and some people have it a lot worse than that, but I just think our physical bodies sort of it takes time for our souls to get used to the earthly, the 3D density.
Yeah, I think in higher realms also, there's more flexibility with time and space. So when we want to create something in our life, it happens very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think some starseeds make it impatient. Isn't that, like, that just kind of came to me. Like, I know, like, going through things, I'm always, like, a big, strong lesson in my life is patience, because I'm like, I want things so quickly. I think we're so used to thinking things, and our thoughts are so high vibrational, and we're so in alignment in higher dimensional realms that things happen very instantaneously. But here, there's this time, and even though the vibration is speeding up, so it's taking less and less time to manifest things, I think we're used to things happening very quickly. So we may get frustrated with ourselves when things aren't happening very quick, or so it's like the climatization of our body, and at the same time, it's a climatization of the energy here, just the time, space, you know.
Yeah. It's funny, real quick, I had a YouTube video I did, and the name of the YouTube video was The One Thing Light Workers Lack. And I use light workers sort of synonymously with Starseed.
Yeah, very
and what I did is I had like my dog come on. I had this purposefully long introduction. And after like 2 minutes in, I was like, you guys ready? You ready? It's patience!
Yeah.
So it was kind of a joke, because I know, I totally agree with what you said, where I think a lot of us are used to this like, this fast manifestation, and patience is a real issue.
It is, yeah, and even just with ascension and like waking up humanity, it's like, this is supposed to, like in 2012, we literally thought it was gonna happen in like a year. Like in 1 year, everyone on the planet's gonna know more about this information. And more people are knowing about it, but we thought like, it'll be an agreed upon thing that like, you know, ET connections and all this stuff, but it's taken a lot longer, you know, and actually the video that we're gonna do on his channel is gonna be on what is called The Event, which is very similar to that. So it's about understanding that when it comes to this process, it's about knowing that there is a process to it, and that sometimes we may think things are going to happen instantaneously, but they may just be a metaphor for a stretched out thing. So the shadow side as well as no patience.
Yes.
The thing that I wanted to also mention was understanding that just like we have, you know, we exist right now, we have what are called past life connections, because they're actually parallel life connections, because the only time that exists is this moment right now. So we have parallel life connections, both future lives and past lives. And what happens though is we also have lives, like we're such vast spiritual beings that our energy is not just incarnated on Earth. So what I mean by that is we don't just have past lives on Earth, we have past lives in different star systems as well. Because the vastness of our spirit is so big that we couldn't just incarnate all of our energy in one time, like space of just Earth. So we have, all of us, the thing is as well with starseeds, every single person on the planet is multidimensional. A starseed is someone who's aware of that multidimensionality and comes through with some type of desire to help other people. Now when it comes to past lives and future lives, we have them also in different star systems. Now the shadow side of starseeds as well is that there are times that we've had past lives or future lives on different star systems where things have happened that is within our soul blueprint. So for example, there may have been a time in one person's blueprint of their soul where they had a past life in Orion or some place where maybe the planet was destroyed, or where there was a lot of things that happened, like devastation. And there may be scarring at the soul level from that experience, and in this life right now, there may be certain themes that are intertwined with that life in a different star system. So just like we have past lives on Earth, we also have past and future lives in different star systems that we may pull information from. May not be relevant, but it may be, and some of those themes that we're going through may be relative to it. So if you ever feel like you feel really you feel like maybe you've been victimized your life, you've been a victim a lot, there could be also connections that we have to different star systems, or maybe that was the case as well, and we're working through that in certain ways in our life here. So understand that we may not always understand where our energy is coming from or why we're feeling certain ways, but there's a lot more to being a multidimensional being, which we all are, that we're becoming aware of. So integrate and just understand that whatever you're feeling, it's okay. You're integrating emotion, you're integrating, like this time on the planet, we're raising our frequency so high. So in a way, we're clearing karmic patterns that no longer serve us. We're clearing things from past lives that don't serve us. We're clearing things from past lives in other star systems that we're ascending. Because from what I understand is right now, as we raise our vibration at 340, 5D level, we're also have this potential to raise our vibration at higher levels as well. It's like a huge upgrade. So we're letting go of so much right now in this lifetime. From what I understand from what Bashar and other people have said is like, we've waited thousands of years to be alive right now, to be going through this transformation. We've waited so long, and this is where it's at right now. Not that it makes everything else meaningless, but this is so exciting to be alive right now because so many people are becoming aware of who they are. Starseeds are waking up. More and more people will find this video through, the information we share. But in general, we just want you to be aware of these shadow aspects that we're talking about today. Was there anything else? Or I think that was...
One quick thing I wanted to add in relation to what Aaron was saying. One of the big things I found is from talking to my subscribers that they struggle with in relation to what he said is that a lot of the star seeds, a lot of like the old souls, even from the earth, they struggled with... They were persecuted, perhaps, and oppressed for their own self-expression, speaking their truth in past. So when it comes time to like a lot of the starseeds, they want to share, they want to help, but they feel like this real strong hesitation. Because not because we're not going to be most of us persecuted in this reality now, but there's that scar of the past. So being aware of what Aaron said can be very helpful because then you can question that. You can say, is there a legitimate concern of expressing myself? In most cases, not. And then therefore that can give you permission to go forward with living your truth. So I just felt guided to share that.
I'm glad you did. I totally forgot about that. I remember I went to like someone that was telling me about my past lives or something, and she said something that resonated with me, but she said that in a lot of my past lives, I was sharing information similar to what I share in this life, but a lot of my past lives, I was killed for the information I shared.
Yes.
Which in the beginning of starting my YouTube channel, I was kind of reluctant. I was having all this fear come up, like, can I share this? Like, what will people think? And it made sense to me when I looked at it. Now, is that true in my past lives? I don't know for sure, but it does kind of resonate with me. And I could see how many people that are starseeds have this desire to help people, but they do feel blocked. So we see it because we help people put content out on YouTube and help people to, awaken the planet. And we see these blocks very common. And I think it is because in past experiences, the collective wasn't ready for it. So what did they do when they weren't ready for it? They would persecute, they would shut them out, they would, kind of silence them, and that was sometimes a violent thing. So just understand now that doesn't have to be the case. That's not gonna be the case. We have the ability to express ourselves now and to be powerful, and we came here to be bold. I think the one thing that starseeds must know as well is like, we came here to be bold. We came here to share our truth. Doesn't mean you have to tell your family and tell your friends and like say all the stuff that we did like too fast, too soon, but you came here to be yourself. Whatever that means to you. You came here to make a change. By you being yourself, by you doing the inner work, by you raising your vibration, you help the vibration of the collective as well. So with that being said, Victor's video that we're going to film on his channel here in a minute is going to be right below right now. You can check out that. Other than that, you can subscribe to Victor's channel as well. Other than that, we appreciate you being here. Peace, much love, and namaste.